from screenrant.com. Our friend John Orchiola in the live chat actually wrote this one. Check this out. It reads, Star Trek officially answers one of the biggest Section 31 questions. One of the biggest questions surrounding Star Trek Section 31 has been answered. Directed by Olatunde Osunsanmi and written by Craig Sweeney, Star Trek Section 31 premieres Friday, January 24th, 2025 on Paramount Plus, which, by the way, everybody happens to be the Friday of Star Trek San Francisco, Creation Entertainment's STSF,
Ooh.
a 3-day convention out in San Francisco. Some people were like, why you call it San Francisco if it's in Burlingame, which is like 10 miles
Yeah.
south of San Francisco? I don't know. Why do the Patriots claim Boston when they're an hour away from Boston? Or they claim all in New England? I don't know. Why do the 49ers play in San Jose, in Santa Clara, but they're called San Francisco?
Hmm.
Here's the thing.
And why is the DIA airport called Denver International Airport when it's not even in Denver?
45 minutes east of Denver.
Yeah, it's north.
I thought it was east. So, and also, speaking of airports, the San Francisco airport that the San Francisco Convention is right across from is in that area right there. It's basically like 2 minutes from
Mhm.
there, or like 1 mile from there. So it's basically San Francisco Airport. We'll call it that. That was a long disclaimer, wasn't it? Here we go. It continues. The first Star Trek movie made for streaming on Paramount Plus. Star Trek Section 31 is headlined by Academy Award winner Michelle Yeoh, whose anti-heroine, Emperor Philippe Georgiou, rejoins Section 31 in a different era of Star Trek's timeline. Cut to the
Mm.
chase. What's the question, Melissa, that this answers for us, please?
Well, because there's always this thing going around where people are like, but Section 31 is a covert operation. They're a covert entity. And so this kind of clarifies that it didn't start out so covertly,
Hmm.
um, starting with Enterprise. And by the time they got Enterprise time period,
Mhm.
by the time they get to Deep Space Nine, they are a covert operation. They only whispered about it behind bars, behind closed doors, and so higher ups would not know that this Section 31 division of Starfleet actually exists.
Mhm.
But when the time that the new movie is going to be set, they aren't so under the radar or covert or hidden from public view, and there's pretty good knowledge of their existence in
Mhm.
Starfleet.
Hmm. Interesting.
Okay.
Hmm.
So there was also now the other thing that people like to nitpick, and I'm kind of one of them, is the lack of being covert in Discovery,
Mhm.
where they had like the badge that like basically says,
Right.
"Hi, my name is Jim, and I'm in Section 31. Ask
Yeah.
me about Section 31," like they were recruiting or something. And so I guess we'll find out if it's out in the open. Well, no, wait. If it's out in the open then and then kind of becomes more covert at this movie. Like if this
Mhm.
movie explains
Right.
bad stuff that they did or bad stuff that happened and they said, okay, officially we're going to say Section 31 is disbanded and done
Right.
forever, but secretly we're really going to be hiding in the
Right.
cracks.
Interesting. Yeah.
Kind of the like they did with Discovery and the warp drive and
Mhm.
Burnham and Spock being siblings.
Exactly. Hmm. Hmm. I like that. I mean, that's the kind of the nice thing about it being set in the era that it's set in is that I mean, it's not a complete blank slate, but there's a lot of history that sort of know about, and there's room to
Malleable.
build it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Malleable.
Malleable.
So now we have this Star Trek Section 31 movie coming out in 2 months. Why is that funny, Melissa? What's going on? What did I miss, Jenny and
Oh
Melissa? Are
man.
you guys section? Well, I guess
Tuesday,
there's going to be some
Tuesday's not
humor.
so funny though, you know?
Continue. Anyway, please
Well, there's got to be
continue.
joy in Section 31, right? They got to tell funny jokes in Section 31. I
I think
mean,
Of
so.
course.
that's the
Yeah.
anticipation, right?
Well,
Mhm.
because
There's
you
some
have
laughter.
Emperor Joy Joe, and she's always cracking jokes.
Quippy. Quippy.
She is
Jor
very quippy.
jokes. That's what they call her.
You know,
That's her
I bet
nickname.
she
Oh
learned those when
no.
she was running around the streets with James Bond, you know?
Hmm. I get like a Casino Royale feel from that trailer.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does feel very Bondish.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Mission Impossible-ish, right?
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it's it's interesting because Julian was a spy in more than one ways during Deep Space Nine because they had that James Bond
True.
episode.
Right.
And also when there was the imposter Julian, remember? In like the seventh
Yeah.
season or sixth
Yeah.
season? Wow. The
Yeah.
Spoilers.
doctor.
Yeah.
This guy spies a lot.
That's crazy, by the way.
does.
That is absolutely crazy. Like I can't that must have been, I watched that part of Deep Space Nine for the first time in like 2018, 2019. Like I had never watched the whole show through. And good Lord, that must have been crazy to see that episode when that was revealed
I
in real
know.
time.
I know.
Like because at that point it was like months, right?
Well, yeah. Well, and I kept thinking, oh my gosh, Imposter Bashir delivered Kira's baby or O'Brien's baby.
Yes.
How crazy is that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and it makes me, ugh.
I know.
Yes. Some creepy stranger, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Anyway, just
But with
like
medical
yeah.
training, apparently. So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was
Apparently.
mind-blowing seeing in like, episode, blah, 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 you're like binging the episodes, but to have all of that time and realize how long it's been going on.
Mhm.
About it. This is from our good friends over at trekmovie.com. This is interesting. It reads, get ready for Star Trek Section 31 movie with new official video history of the notorious organization.
Oh.
So what's going on here? Have you seen the movie, Melissa and Company?
What?
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, not the movie, but the video?
Yes. I did watch the video.
And it was just all clips, right?
It was all clips, which was awesome actually to see how much Section 31 has shown up in Star Trek since its inception during Deep Space Nine. It was pretty great. They even made it into the Kelvin movies. So
Oh, right.
yeah.
I don't remember them in the
Right.
Kelvin movies. What was that?
It was in Star Trek Beyond, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because that's the whole, wasn't that trying to remember her name now. The whole ship with they were all
Alice
part
Eve?
of Section 31. Yeah, Alice Eve and Peter Weller, they were Section 31.
And Leonidas, our friend Leonidas says, I love Lord of the Rings and I worked on Section 31 and
Oh,
Unification.
shoot.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
All right,
Oh,
Leonidas.
fantastic.
What?
He was on the clapper under Carlos's name.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, so he was
Ooh.
DP or something? Because that's usually
Let me
who's
see,
going to be
let me
under the
see here.
director on the
Let me
slate.
just look here.
Leonidas,
maybe.
spill it. Let's hear, what did you do first on Section 31, and secondarily, what did you do on Unification? Because if his name was on the slate, a lot of times that's
Mhm.
going to be the DP,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
check it out. Check it out here. I'm gonna drop it into our chat. I
All
made
right.
that as one of the clappers, one of our thumbnails for
I love the clapper. I know it's not the right term, but I like calling it the clapper.
here's the
Wait, I
here's
don't.
the original right there.
Yeah,
If you look under
Oh,
there.
yes. Oh,
That's
yeah.
not.
wow.
I must have clicked on the wrong thing because whatever you sent, whatever I clicked on took me to Power Rangers. Let me see. Hang
Oh, that's yeah, sorry, that's
on.
YouTube link. There's two images that popped
All
in.
right,
One
here we
thing.
go. Here it is.
Not that again.
There he is, camera. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, he says
You
he was a DP for both. For Section
unbelievable.
31,
That's
That's
a
so
small
amazing.
portion.
cool.
We are in the presence of royalty, you guys.
Yeah.
So first
Oh my
things
Amazing.
first,
gosh.
Leonidas, is that your real name?
It's an awesome name if it
That
is.
is
I know. This
I
would
always
be
want to say this
amazing.
is Sparta every time I read his name.
I
mhm,
know.
He's like, please don't.
wonderful.
I've been.
I know he's like,
And
if
I
I had a
love that
dog
movie
for every day.
300, by the way. I know it didn't get the best of reviews, but I loved that it
Oh God,
was
I loved it.
so
Yeah.
stylized
Hmm.
and it took you
Yes.
Mhm.
back to like a different time and a different
Yeah.
place and it made it seem like
Hmm.
mythology, which is how we all pictured it in
Yeah.
our mind when we used to read about Greek mythology. You don't need to make it
Yeah.
look real. You can make it
Yes.
be
Yeah.
mythological.
Poor
Yep.
guy. He said it wasn't cool till the movie, so I got made fun of most of my life. Aw.
Aw.
But then when
Mm.
the movie came out, he's like, see,
Yeah.
You're like,
see.
See,
yeah.
I'm a badass.
It's like
Okay.
this
You
is
are a
Leonidas.
badass.
Well, that's really cool, Leonidas. That's pretty awesome
Yeah.
of you. And thanks for joining us. And we've seen your name before, so that's great that you jump in on this. And section 31 now. What can you tell us about that? So you shot that way back in the day. It's deep into post, basically done.
Right.
Um, can you tell us
Yeah.
anything, like as a DP, can you tell us, say, for example, the acting was unbelievable, or maybe you could say, hey, the shots are going to be great and you're going to love them. Or what can you tell us from the point of view of a DP, the guy that's watching the performances, the guy that's giving us the mise en scène, as the French and all people
Ooh,
say now. Um,
I like that.
what do you think about it?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It is
Hmm.
beautiful.
Mm.
All
Wow,
right.
that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for joining the live chat. That's
And I'm
so
glad that
cool.
people are finally coming around on his name because that's messed up. There's nothing
Right?
It
worse
is
than,
messed
yeah,
up.
yeah. Don't, yeah.
I can't say anything about Section 31. You know that. But Tunde is great.
Yeah.
He is.
Today is
Okay.
great though.
I met him very briefly during my very short stint on Discovery. He came into the office and wanted to talk visual effects with us and what he wanted to be able to get an idea of how we could work together. And from a artist standpoint, I thought
Hmm.
that was really cool that he as a director was like, okay, how can we tell this story together in the best way
Oh,
possible? So every
Yeah,
time
that's
I see
great.
that he directs an episode, I'm always excited to see his name because that kind of stuff leaves an impression on you.
Hmm.
I had a similar experience with Glenn Powell when I was working on Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, right on.
Glenn came into the office, and the director Joe Kosinski brought him into our room to show so we could show him the previews that we were working on. And anytime after that, if Glenn happened to be in the office, he'd pop his head in and wave and say, "Hey guys, how's it going?" So
Awesome.
you remember those moments when people look down on you as the lowly artist and they remember you even though they're super famous and
Yeah.
doing big things.
Yeah. And that they're interested in the rest of the process. Like that it isn't just, they're not just,
Yeah,
they're like, hey, we're making a movie together, you
right.
know? That's cool. That's really cool.
So our
mhm.
good friend War Dogheim out in Montana says, and the end of this sounds very apocalyptic, but I love it. He says, so to be clear, both Carlos Baena and Leonidas are now members of the Chat Pack. We are
Woohoo!
distinguished.
Absolutely. I love it.
And he says Olatunde is great, good energy. And he says, so is Kurtzman. So that's
Nice.
Awesome.
wonderful.
Hmm.
All right,
Great
let's
to
move
hear.
forward. Did we cover this article fully? as we went all over the, well, man, the editing's gonna
I
be
mean,
nuts on this one.
We did go off on a bit of a tangent there.
but it's fun to discover royalty in the live chat. So
Right?
it's
Royal
great.
name, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says Paramount has sent out a brand new video for viewers to learn about Starfleet's covert division that has existed in the shadows since the beginning of the Federation. The 2.5-minute video features footage from Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, Discovery, Picard, and even some from Star Trek Into Darkness. The best movie ever that Jenny has not seen. It's all woven together with a narration that attempts to explain how Section 31 has evolved over the centuries, leading up to the new streaming movie set in the lost era of the early 24th century.
Yeah. So there's a lot of playing that could go on there.
Thanks so much for watching that clip. We go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with all the latest Star Trek news on the virtual TrekCon channel.